Werewolf movies have been a staple of horror for decades, embodying the primal fear of losing control and becoming a beast. Whether it's the gothic tragedy of the Wolfman or the groundbreaking practical effects of An American Werewolf in London, these films have cemented themselves as cultural icons. But here's the thing about werewolf movies, they rarely go stale. Even the bad ones have a certain charm, tapping into the visceral thrill of seeing humans transform into monsters under the glow of a full moon. There's something timeless about the subgenre, whether it leans into the campy B-movie territory, deep psychological horror, or full-throttle gore. With Wolfman on the horizon, it feels like the perfect time to take a closer look at some of the most notable werewolf movies from the past decade. As someone who loves the genre so much I even made a short film about it, I can say these movies prove that the werewolf tale still has plenty of bite. First up is the honorable mention, Werewolves. Werewolves plunges viewers into a world reeling from a catastrophic supermoon event that, a year prior, activated a dormant gene in humans, transforming those exposed to its light into ferocious werewolves. With nearly 1 billion lives lost during the initial night of terror, the supermoon is set to rise again, threatening a repeat of the horrors. Wesley Marshall, played by Frank Grillo, a former military operative turned biologist, is racing against time to develop a cure, dubbed Moonscreen, to prevent further transformations. As the supermoon ascends, chaos erupts once more, compelling Wesley to navigate a city overrun by werewolves to protect his family and ensure their survival throughout the night. Yeah, the film is pretty much The Purge anarchy, but with, well, werewolves. Hollywood should take note. In an age of box office uncertainty, low to mid-budget action horror films like Werewolves prove that audiences will show up for tightly crafted, entertaining genre fare. If they're okay, at least.
What the fuck are you?
The Flies.
Wolf Cop is exactly what its title promises, a hilarious and over-the-top blend of werewolf horror and buddy cop tropes. Loup Garou, a not-so-subtle nod to the French term for werewolf, is an alcoholic officer who gains supernatural powers after being transformed into a werewolf. But instead of being consumed by his curse, Lou leans into his new identity, solving crimes and ripping bad guys apart in equal measure. The film's charm lies in this unapologetic embrace of camp. From its DIY practical effects to outrageous set pieces, including a werewolf transformation during an act that's definitely not safe for work. Underneath the gore and humor though, there's a surprising amount of heart, as Lou begins to redeem himself both as a person and as a law officer.
I'm hearing it's a giant fucking wolf cop. Are you hearing that?
A Wolf Cop movie featuring Kevin Smith as a mayor and a poster inspired by Cobra? Yeah, this has to be on the list. Director Lowell Dean is back at it, taking everything fans loved about the first film and amplifying it in every glorious way. Loup Garou returns, cracking open his cans of Dale Ale while facing a corporate villain intent on creating a brewery that hides sinister secrets. Packed with even more outrageous gore, over-the-top set pieces, and a heavy dose of self-aware humor, another Wolf Cop firmly cements itself as a cult favorite. One of the highlights is the introduction of even more bizarre characters and situations, including a werecat. The sequel doesn't take itself seriously, embracing its B-movie roots and delivering pure, unadulterated fun. Fans of films like The Editor and Psycho Gorman will also appreciate a very brief, yet very welcome appearance by Adam Brooks. If you enjoyed the first Wolf Cop, this follow-up is a must-watch for its unapologetic chaos, especially around the holidays. Here's hoping Dean continues the series. This Canadian indie gem takes a psychological approach to the werewolf lore, focusing more on the human side of the transformation. Gray, a struggling musician, begins to experience strange animalistic urges after she isolates herself in a remote studio to work on her new album. These changes parallel her growing desperation to succeed, blurring the line between ambition and monstrosity. Bloodthirsty thrives on the minimalist approach, relying on atmosphere and character development over spectacle. Lauren Betty's haunting performance as Grey anchors the film, capturing her vulnerability and increasing volatility. Combined with a moody soundtrack and a stunning cinematography, this is a film that proves werewolf stories can be just as introspective as they are terrifying. Formerly known as 8 for Silver, this gothic horror film is a striking reimagining of werewolf mythology. Set in 19th century France, The Curse follows a cursed village where greed and betrayal summon a supernatural plague. The werewolves here aren't your traditional monsters, but are depicted with eerie, otherworldly designs that evoke dread and unease. The film excels in creating an impressive atmosphere, with lush cinematography capturing the foggy countryside and blood-soaked horrors. Boyd Holbrook delivers a standout performance as a pathologist drawn into the mystery, grounding the story with emotional weight. With its mix of historical drama and visceral horror, The Curse feels both modern and timeless, a rare feat in the genre.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh fuck no!
Hal takes the creature feature formula and places it in an enclosed claustrophobic setting, a stranded train in the middle of nowhere. The story follows a group of passengers led by the reluctant train guard as they're forced to work together to survive a nightmarish attack by feral werewolves. What makes Howl stand out is its focus on survival dynamics. Each passenger brings their baggage to the table, and the film takes its time to explore their personalities before the carnage begins. The creature design is both grotesque and grounded, avoiding CGI in favor of practical effects that heighten the terror. With its breakneck pacing and tension-filled sequences, Howl is a thrill ride that never lets up. Larry Fessenden's Blackout is a moody, character-driven exploration of werewolf mythology set against the backdrop of a small town during a blackout. The story follows Charlie, an artist struggling with his darker urges, as he faces dual challenges of self-control and an increasingly paranoid community. What makes Blackout unique is its emphasis on psychological horror and small-town dynamics. Fessenden brings his indie sensibilities to the film, crafting a deeply human story that examines guilt, morality, and the monster within.
Out of curiosity, who is packing?
I am, yes sir, America.
Who else is packing, dog?
Wow.
Based on a pretty decent VR game, Werewolves Within combines dark humor with a murder mystery. The rare comedic gem in the werewolf genre follows Finn, a forest ranger who arrives in a small, snowy town just as a series of murders sends the quirky townsfolk into frenzy. As suspicions rise, Finn must navigate the chaos to uncover who, or what, is responsible for the killings. A favorite of mine from both Detroiters and I Think You Should Leave, Sam Richardson shines as the awkward Finn, bringing charm and humor to the film's offbeat tone. The ensemble cast filled with eccentric characters keeps the story lively, while the werewolf mystery adds a layer of suspense. With its clever dialogue and sharp satire, Werewolves Within is a fresh and highly entertaining entry into the genre. While technically a TV special, Werewolf by Night meets the Academy of Arts and Sciences definition of a feature film, clocking in at just under an hour, and what a film it is. Part of Marvel Studios' exploration into horror, this black and white homage to classic Universal monster movies is both a stylistic triumph and a refreshing departure from the typical superhero fare. The story follows Jack Russell, a monster hunter hiding a dark secret as he's forced into a deadly hunt amongst his peers. Gael Garcia Bernal delivers a haunting and heartfelt performance, bringing depth to the conflicted protagonist. The film's striking cinematography and practical effects recall the golden age of monster cinema while adding a modern flair. Werewolf by Night isn't just a great Marvel project, it's a fantastic werewolf film in its own right. Its mix of suspense, gothic atmosphere, and unapologetic homage to horror classics make it a must-watch for genre fans. Late Phases centers on Ambrose, a blind Vietnam veteran who moves into a retirement community plagued by a mysterious animal attacks. The film masterfully combines poignant drama with old-school horror, as Ambrose, a grizzled but determined protagonist, sets to uncover the truth and protect his neighbors. Nick Dempsey brings a powerhouse performance as Ambrose, capturing both his physical limitations and his indomitable spirit. And of course, our favorite stoner record store employee, Ethan Embry, is always a standout. Seriously, this dude needs a resurgence. The film's werewolf transformations are delightfully practical, harkening back to the genre's heyday, while its exploration of aging and isolation adds emotional depth. Late Phases is a rare gem that balances heartfelt storytelling with bloody thrills.
There is no such thing as werewolves.
The Wolfus No Hollow is a unique blend of dark comedy, mystery, and horror that revitalizes the werewolf genre. The story follows John Marshall, a small-town sheriff gripping his own personal demons and mounting stress as he investigates a series of murders that may be the work of a werewolf. Jim Cummings delivers a standout performance as the tightly wound Marshall, balancing rage, vulnerability, and dark humor with equal measure. Adding gravitas to the film is the legendary Robert Forster, who plays John's ailing father and the town's retiring sheriff. Forster's presence brings warmth and pathos to his scenes, making it a fitting farewell to the beloved actor in his final role. The film's witty script, inventive tone, and surprising emotional depth makes this a modern masterpiece of the werewolf genre. With sharp writing and clever twists, The Wolfus No Hollow is a howling success that stands out among recent horror films. Werewolf movies may not dominate modern horror like their vampire or zombie counterparts, but there's plenty of fresh blood in the genre. Whether you're looking for claustrophobic survival horror, psychological drama, or genre-bending art house, these films offer something for every horror fan. Even if you aren't into some of these on the list, there is an entire plethora of lycanthropic horror for free on apps like Tubi. But as some of the movies they have on their catalog, dive in cautiously with some of those, of course. So dim the lights, embrace the full moon, and let these flicks show their teeth.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.